Hello and welcome to week 85, continuing our discussion about the Cham Kiu form, breaking down some of the concepts involved and showing connections with the Sin and Tail form where there are very obvious connections. We've sort of bounced around a little bit within the second section, but we're now at the point where we can discuss what happens after the Paau Bong action that we talked about some weeks back. On the very last Paau Bong action, we're left in a position where we've covered ourselves on this side, but in fact we've left all this side open. So in other words, it's like I've been compromised in my position and the threat is potentially coming from the front. So what this part of the form is teaching us is A, to get the elbow back into the middle to protect us, B, to face the threat, and C, it allows us to practice an idea concerning hitting from wherever your hands are. We can't, in the middle of a fight, always return to the center before we throw a punch. It's not only slower, it's potentially dangerous. So in Cham Kiu, we have a very exaggerated position where the, let's call him the imaginary opponent, is positioned in somewhere in this range, and my hand is way out here. What's the shortest distance between those 2 points? A straight line, obviously. This punch is not, as a lot of people interpret it, some kind of Wing Chun uppercut. It's not an uppercut at all. It's actually a straight punch, but from a bad position. So I take the shortest line possible to the target. But in doing so, it provides an opportunity to learn how to modify the punch for certain circumstances where the regular punch might not be effective. Now, I'll come back to that, but the first point being what I said before, I want to get my elbow back in the center. I'm moving in that direction, but I'm not facing in that direction. Very dangerous. So the first course of action is mai zhang, get the elbow down. Second course of action is to make sure I face my enemy. The punch is just a bonus on the end of that. The punch ends up approximately mouth level and going forward. Now, why do I want to use this punch and not the regular one? I'll ask Gunduck to be my target for this exercise. He doesn't have to be there to do anything except be a target for me for the moment. The basic Wing Chun punch is very powerful because of that elbow and wrist snapping combination and the fact that when you make contact in the chest or the head, that final split-second movement in the wrist creates a line of energy down to the floor, which means the punch penetrates upwards and forwards. And that's brilliant anywhere from approximately the solar plexus up to the head. Problem is, if you hit someone in the body, you're going below that line, the wrist can't help you. And so if I put my fist on his chest, even in a neutral stance, and ask Gunduck to try to walk forward, it's very difficult for him to come forward. I can still generate power from there. But if I put my fist on his belly, he can collapse my arm immediately. So if I'm in a position where the only target I can hit is a blow to the body, coming in like this will hurt him, but maybe not as hard as it could hurt him. But if I twist it on contact, the shape of my forearm mimics the wrist action from the normal punch, so this provides a very powerful driving blow. Now, we don't often need to do that, but if you're in a position where you can't get to the head or the hands are very high, there's an obvious target. That will hurt him, that will hurt him more. So this is a better choice. It will drive through his rib cage, cause a serious injury. Probably that's enough to say about the technique. Just remember, when you do it, keep it at low level, because it's not meant to be a punch that goes up, it's a punch that goes on a low line. See you on the next one.